All right, we're getting up now. I got everything set back up, cleaned up and everything. Probably gonna end up going and getting a shower in a little bit, but we're looking at the rates on the load board. And you guys wonder, like, this is the reason I got this bigger trailer, right, was because I could do different stuff. You know, I could do 3 cars, 2 trucks, whatever. But that load pays $3 grand for 1,250 miles, okay? We're finding stuff on the load board that's paying. This guy, somebody took a transit van for 33 cents a mile from Florida. You got people taking trucks for 50 cents a mile. And this is what's wrong with these car guys. You can't negotiate with them. Not one of them want to let up your rate because somebody out there's taking it cheap and ruining this car market. So when I go to Florida, I try to get as much money as possible going in so that I can get back out for not cheap, but you know, I like this route, okay? Somebody took 2005 Chevy 4500, and it's an in-op too, and they want to pay 900 gross on 924 miles. Like, get the hell out of here. We ain't doing that. So I found a Honda Accord. He found a Honda Accord for 900 gross for 1,125 miles. It's a really light car, so I'll be able to take, you know, that. I have another one booked for 850 for 600 miles. So we'll have 2, so that puts us at 1,750, and I should be able to get another small car and be right around like $2,500. So you get the point. Like, oh man, I really can't wait to get my CDL. I'm going for it soon. All right, so I just went into my least favorite store. I went to Lowe's instead of Home Depot because it was closer, and I got 3 gallons of coolant. So the reason I have coolant issues, last time I just filled it up, but I never actually like bled the system. So I think that's what I'm gonna do now. All right, listen how fast this starts up. Listen to that. Turn the AC on. Yeah. Lowe's parking lot is terrible. You know how much more money these guys would make, Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, if they would just make it easier for semis to get in there? Like, even if you don't allow them to park overnight, like the amount of money I spend at a Home Depot versus a Love's is crazy. I go to Home Depot for everything that I can possibly go for. Funny enough, it didn't even take a full gallon, so we'll see. I was squeezing the hoses and everything, you know, whatever. And yeah, I was able to get, I was watching the air bubbles come out. There was a bunch of big ones in the main hose, but I'm gonna run it for a little bit. We're sitting at 190 right now with the AC on. It's 86 degrees outside, so 360 on the EGTs. I will say that the truck has been running awesome and I have had no issues. So with saying that, maybe we'll jinx it. But yeah, literally, I've just been able to get in the thing and drive it. It's been pretty sweet. So I think we're at that point where it's like, all right, everything's been taken care of. And it's like, now it's all just maintenance items. There's things I want to do. Like, I do want to beef up the front end, like a lot of you guys have suggested. The Dodge front end is terrible. But it's like, no matter how many times you replace it, they always go bad and get loose really, really fast. So definitely something on the list that I want to do. Listen to this damn thing. I love it. All right, so some of you guys are interested in this question, some of you may not be, but I got a really good question on the comments for yesterday's video, and I really wanted to go over this in better detail that I could really answer for him typing it out. So Funky Man, I told him that I was going to feature this question in today's video because I want to give him a better answer than, hey, here's a set amount you should have and be done with it. So he asked, he said, I don't have to answer it, but he said, how much do you think you needed to get started into hotshotting power only, and then looking into starting power only but working into freight like I did or with a trailer? Say I would get the truck and trailer, how much would I need to get the paperwork side, and pretty much all of that. I don't know. I'm gonna go over, there's, you know, the 2 main ways to do it, because you can either lease under a company or you can get your own authority. I'm going to assume, and I'm not saying this about him, but I'm going to assume that guy has his doors open in the back. Nice. I'm going to assume that somebody with no experience, they're gonna start out, how much money do you need? What backup plan should you have? And I'm gonna assume you're gonna lease under a company, somebody who has no experience. If you're looking to lease under a company, you wanna get into this business, you wanna start with power only, so you have a truck, right? The truck is gonna be completely up to you, what you have. Now, depending on the year truck that you have is going to determine how much money you need set aside and what backup plans you need to have. Say, in my case, I have a 2004 Ram 2500. You know, it's cheap. If something were to ever happen to it, I can fix it and be on my way. Whereas with a new truck, you know, you could have a warranty issue. Some are a hit or miss. You could have a warranty issue. It's going to sit in the shop for a while. You're still going to have to make payments. You're going to have to spend money out of pocket if it's out of warranty, stuff like that. So that is completely determined on you. If you go the route that I did with an old truck, and you want to say, how much do you need in savings? I generally tell people $10,000 is a good round number, all the way around, after you have everything. But there are some stipulations to that. Do you have credit? Do you have a credit card? Do you have someone in your family that could lend you money if something happens that you could pay them back? This was a deal that, say, me and my brother have. You know, we'd find ourselves, even though we have money locked away in certain accounts and places that we can't touch it right now, stocks and savings accounts that, you know, we don't really want to move around. So every now and again, when the main account gets low, we'll end up, hey, here's $500, pay me back on Friday, it's Wednesday, right? And that's what we'll go back and forth and do, so we don't have to touch our savings accounts. That's just how we do it. So if you have somebody like that in your family that says, hey, oh shit, I need $1,000 right now, or I can't fix my truck, or something like that, that will make the amount of money that you need to have set aside less. There's people that get into this business with nothing, but because they have people that support them, family members and all that, they succeed. Okay, when I started back in 2018, I got my own authority and we started a towing company. This was completely different. I started hotshotting with no money at all. I had a pickup truck and I was 4 months behind on every single bill that I had. I had an old truck. I had determination to get caught back up on my bills, not get evicted, not lose my truck, all of that. So when I started doing this, you know, I had a good relationship with family members. If I needed money for fuel for the day, and hey, I'll pay you back when this load pays. I used to do that kind of stuff. So I didn't have a dime to my name, okay? I didn't have stocks, I didn't have savings account. I just had debt. That was it. And don't get me wrong, I got completely burnt out after about a year. How I was running was not the way I would recommend. I didn't know any better back then. There was no logbooks or throwing numbers on the like, it was pretty bad, I would say. I had everything legally, but I ran so terribly, so much that I don't recommend it. Definitely wasn't legal, but lessons were learned and we're trying to do it right this time. But my point is, I had family that would lend me money if I needed it, and I'd pay them back on the next load. I had a broker that I had a really good relationship with that, you know, I think he got me like 80% of my work and the rest of it was central. And it's like, hey man, here's a load for you. Hey, I don't have the fuel money. Can you spot me, you know, a certain amount of the load? And he would do that, you know. So if you want to get into this business with no money, I don't recommend it at all, but it is possible, but I don't recommend it. So like I said, if you have a used truck and you know how to fix it, I would recommend that you have 10 grand in savings and you work your way up, okay? Double that money, go buy a trailer, okay? Then move into the next thing. You'll have 10 grand again after you buy another trailer, or you finance a trailer so you can keep that savings. You want to have enough of a cushion. Say 3 months of expenses is a happy number. Make sure that you're able to pay your bills for 3 months. You know, the chances of you needing that much are slim to none, okay? But I remember talking to Ricky, Load Miser on YouTube. We talk, you know, a good bit, you know, go back and forth. And he's actually mentioned this in a video, so that's why I'll mention this here, because if this was private, I definitely wouldn't. But he said that he had $33,000 in his maintenance fund. He had a 2015, I forget what kind of semi it was, and he went bankrupt. Chasing sensors, figuring out why won't my truck work, going through the dealerships, going through warranties. and I think after the warranty expired, just constantly throwing more money at it, and it's unfortunate. And he turned that around and is doing Hotshot. It's much lower maintenance, or much lower overhead cost. He gets to keep more of his money in his pocket. So look at those situations, look at those failures, and compare them to what you're trying to do. So that's pretty much my answer on that. Let me know if you want me to answer it a little bit better, how you would like me to answer it, if you know, if I didn't answer it well enough. But there you go. So 3 months of expenses, especially if you have a new truck. If you have an old truck, you know, maybe a month of expenses. Look at your expenses and figure that number. But I personally, I like that 10 grand number. If I need anything, I can just go out and get it for my truck. That's how I see it. Well, guys, we got some bad news. Somebody flagged us down. Damn. We were a little hard on the brakes there, but holy shit. Well, we got the life out of that tire, so whatever. This is one reason I really like tri-axles, because when you blow one out, you still have two, and this rim is never gonna touch the ground. So, awesome. All right, so let's get this thing swapped out. I'm not even gonna need the jack for this, I don't think. Brakes are smoking a little bit. I was hard on the brakes to get this thing stopped when I saw it. Got our first blowout. This is the one that was plugged. I checked it this morning and it was perfectly fine. So not a big deal. It's not a big deal. We got this. We're in a good mood. Enthusiasm. AC's going in the truck. And we got two spares sitting right there. Let's get this bad boy swapped out. All right, so I find out why this tire actually blew, and it's because the duals are touching. Oh man, this wouldn't have happened if I would have just put spacers on the truck. By the way, guys, so I mentioned I've been watching the heat on the back duals touching, because they do touch on the bottom, and I'm not going to be letting it go like that for like a while, like too long. These are the spacers that you have to run with a 285 7017. These are a 12 millimeter. They say you can get away with a 1/4 inch, but I couldn't find a 1/4 inch, so I just got the 12 millimeter. They're like a half. But before I put those on, I wanted to get longer studs and just do them the whole way around. So I've been watching the heat. Jeez, I've been watching the heat on the back tires, and they've been like 100 degrees all the way around, so like it's been perfectly fine. It's this section here that touches on the bottom. I know it's not the best thing in the world, but somebody mentioned to me in the comments, and actually the guy I'm leased under, he did the same thing. He got a shitload of miles out of these tires. The one guy got like 65,000 miles before a tire blew out, and I forget what Chris said he had. I thought he said like 80,000 or something. I am going to be putting that 1/2 inch spacer between them. I just, you know, for now, I do want to get longer studs first, so that way it's safe. But finding studs is a pain in the ass. I got to order them online because no part store carries all of them, and some of them carry short studs. So it's really stupid how they do it. But I don't know. I got to get online and order like 16 studs, and then I might order 32 so I have spares. I would love to have spare studs. All right, so basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this guy right here and then I'm gonna stack them up. So this one's gonna be floating in the air, but I put the tire here so that I have enough pressure that I can at least get up on it first, and then I'll move it. So, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. Just drive it up, no jack needed, throw the new tire on, send her all the way, bud. Now that's how you that's how you do it. Look at that, all of the pressure on that single tire. So let's get this thing swapped out. Jeez, that was brutal. I like had to boosted launch the thing in first, and I'm like, wait a second, I have 4 low. I put it in 4 low, send it, there we go. And such a good move. Look at all these cars not moving over, bastards. All right, guys. Whew. What do you do when failure is not an option? You keep going, no matter what. Doesn't matter how dangerous it is, doesn't matter the risk, you keep going. Got a family dependent on me back home, all right? I've had a lot of shit happen since I started doing this again, okay? A lot of stuff, all right? And at the end of the day, you guys see all the negative stuff that's happened and the unfortunate situations, and I've never once complained. You know, I might be annoyed sometimes about certain things, but you know what? When you got a family sitting at home, relying on you, you don't give up. What do you do when people say negative things about you on the internet? You ignore it, because people's opinions don't pay your bills. If I could pay my bills, if I had $1 for every negative comment somebody said, I don't know, I'd probably have like $500 or some shit like that, I don't know. But if I could pay my bills with people's opinions, that'd be pretty neat. But you can't. What do? You suck it up. You suck it up, you keep moving forward. That's what you do. This tire is totally my fault. I plugged it. This morning it was perfectly fine. I'm willing to bet that me doing the U-turn in Lowe's parking lot is probably what ended up, you know, starting this, which, don't get me wrong, I'm completely fine with. These fenders are like absolutely massive, and a little tire blowout ain't gonna hurt these things. But at the end of the day, like I said, just keep doing what's best for you. Keep pushing. It might not seem like it's worth it at first. Oh, hell no. This didn't seem worth it at first when I started doing this again this year, but you know what? We're doing pretty good, and that's all that matters. This has been fun. I'm gonna torque these down. What do you guys usually torque the wheels to? I'm gonna go about 140 foot-pounds, just like I do with the truck. But let me know down below, what do you guys torque your wheels to? Also, look at all these cars coming. You know, I feel like I'm far enough off that I'll be all right, but I think we'll be all right. Guys, you wanna see something funny? Remember that comment I made the other day about how I don't like the rails and the gooseneck hitch and everything, right? So you guys see, this is a gooseneck plate. It has, the ball is offset. So I could put it in the back, which would push the trailer back 6 inches, or in my case, since I'm so long, I put it in the front so that it's forward. Most guys will run it like that because of the length law. Somebody told me that I installed it wrong and that I should take that Kurt plate and put it sideways and mount it to the frame that way. Are you serious? So I'm just like, where do these people come up with these ideas? If you put that sideways, your gooseneck, you're gonna be towing it over on this side, or you're gonna be towing it on that side. That plate is mounted to the frame with those rails. And I've seen from a lot of other people that they've never had problems with the rails, and then other people who have. With the fifth wheel, I've never had a problem with the rails. Do I like the rails? Not really. That's what came on my truck when I bought it. So I'm kind of stuck with it now. But, because it's the brackets are welded to the frame. But you get the point. Like, if you turn this plate sideways, and not to mention it's not even gonna reach the frame rails. So, if you've never done something, please don't give advice on things, because bruh, if somebody were to successfully turn that plate sideways and mount it to the frame, you're gonna kill somebody. Some of these people, I did tag 2 videos below on that comment so that he could see, hey, go look at this. This is the correct way to install it from Kurt, and that's how we've installed it. So I've done many of them. I've never had an issue, other than on the 5500, because there's no support on a cabin chassis, they do bend. So if you don't have a bed, you're gonna need supports. In this case, the weight of the trailer has bent my rail and bent my bed down. So I'll be upgrading at some point. But yeah, I figured I'd share that. I thought that was funny. Well, not funny, actually. Kind of dangerous, but you know, whatever. This is dangerous. Brokers, and I don't even know if I can blame the brokers at this point. These drivers that are taking this shit for cheap I'm like, hey, get me a load from Miami to Tampa, okay? Because Tampa, I'm trying to meet family down here, right? And he's like, oh, here's a 2011 F-250 single wheel from Fort Lauderdale to Tampa, 180 bucks for 266 miles. Bruh, that takes up 22 feet of the trailer and is heavy. $180. I was like, oh, deadhead for that. All right, this TPMS is a lifesaver. I told you I was going to record this and go over everything. So, suspicions are correct, because I was like, why is my tires not heating up? Like, they're touching on the bottom. I always thought that they'd blow out, right? Well, finally, it took 99-degree weather, and I don't even know what, but the inside tire is at 154 degrees. Now the fronts are at 125, so they're not touching anything. I don't know what the heat limit on these it actually is, but 154 degrees and the thing went off. So I'm just gonna assume, hey, that's bad. Stop, pull over, you know, get them to cool down, and go from there. But I don't know. We finally had heat issues on the tires, touching on the bottom, but it really took a lot, like 99 degrees. I wonder how long, like what they could actually handle though. Not that I want to find out, but I wonder what they could handle. So according to the not so very good research that I just filmed, okay, so apparently experts, this is from experts on Google. No, this is from, someone said, experts say that 195 degrees is about, you know, where you want to, the point of, okay, this is hot, okay? And then anything above that starts to affect the tire life. So it only got to 154. So I might just run it. It's down to 147 now. But I think that's about, it's probably normal anyway, because you guys can see the fronts are 132 and the back ones are the ones taking the load. It's the inner ones getting the hottest. All right, so you guys can't see, this is where I'm gonna finish the video out. I started the shift this morning at like 10:05, I think it is, and it's 11:57 right now. So I have about 56 minutes of drive left. Worst shift I've ever picked. Work all day and halfway to damn midnight, so it'll be like 1 o'clock by the time I'm close to 1 o'clock. So, but that's pretty much gonna do it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I am in Florida now, so I'm about 5 hours and 18 minutes from drop 1, and then another 45 minutes from drop 2. So, see you guys. Bye.